Rise and shine, Rwanda.
Good morning. You're watching Rise and Shine Wonder with me, Ivan Magwene.
And me, Peace Quizera, coming up on Rise and Shine.
In our story of the day, the African standby force could become a reality. We see what this means for Africa.
And in sports, Real Madrid win 11th championship league title.
And in lifestyle, we bring you the best of the month in word. Well, all that and more still to come, but first we open up the table. Well, good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Ivan.
Well, it's been a very busy weekend for sports, guys.
Yeah, it's been, that final Real Madrid winning the 11th title. Well, it's a big game.
And of course, some of we P fans here.
Well, Senegal disciplined us. But yeah, we pick ourselves up.
Discipline is a very hard one. But anyway, we can't wait to hear what you have for us in sports. Good morning, the lady with the money.
Good morning, Ivan.
Oh, how I wish you're the lady with the money.
Well, she's the lady
Give me
with
some
the money.
money.
Well, I hope you all guys had a nice weekend. And of course, we're almost finishing up this month, and we hope to bring you all the best as we end up this month. But first, we have the trending stories, both locally and internationally. Rwandan youth under the Kigali Global Shapers Hub, a number of the Global Shapers community, have started a campaign to remove visa requirements for Africans traveling out to other African countries. The hub, which has been vocal about the possibility of seeing a free movement of Africans across the continent, also partnered with the World Economic Forum, among other stakeholders, to develop the topic, how can Africa become an integrated continent with movement of people and labor? I think it's not the first time that we're talking about this. But I think this is a great initiative, and of course, I wanted to get your views on this one. One or the other, the Kigali Global Shapers, I think, which are under the other Global Shapers, are trying to enhance this movement, and we've seen the hashtag on Twitter. What does this symbolize, and what do they want for most of the African countries to do? I'll start off this conversation with the sportsman.
Well, on this issue, I'm not the sportsman. But it's a good movement. I mean, we have few countries that have the free visa or visa on arrival policy. And we've seen it is, with the policy having to apply for a visa from your country, it stifles the movement of talent and trade and everything. So, yeah, these people should increase on their efforts and see that these visas are taken up by, this policy is taken up by more countries.
What would you like to see, especially in the changes of how people, get to move across Africa? What are some of the things that you think government should enhance and try and do to make sure that the people are able to access different countries, certain, people are able to access different markets across the African continent?
Yeah, well, I feel like with or without, the funding from other African countries, the countries can still develop. So I think, all these issues of tourism and where we have to pay to be a tourist in maybe Uganda or all these other countries, tourists from actually out of Africa can still do that, and people can still gain money from that. So I feel like, Africa being open, to, an open route would still be, such a good idea, because it would help, each other, especially for the landlocked countries who can access the ports, that especially, if they have to import or export different things from all over the world. And for other countries who do not have access, well, for example, Rwanda, who have different things like gorillas and different things that other countries don't have, people can still come, and because it's Africa, this is kind of where we all kind of come from, especially whatever happened in the past, still it's Africa, and it's kind of our continent. It should be one big continent. It is our continent. It's not even kind of. So I think if it's open, it would actually help everyone. I think it's for the good of all African countries.
All right, we'll see what happens then. We thank the Global Shapers for their movement. Now, moving on to our second story. Indian police say 5 people have been arrested over attacks on 6 Africans, the latest in a number of assaults that have been strained ties between African countries and India. Thousands of Africa, of course, studying in Indian universities. Now, a student group is holding an anti-racism rally this week. Now, this is a very catchy story. We know we have very many students living in India and studying in India.
Yes, yes.
And fortunately, One of our colleagues did happen
Yes.
to be in India last year, if I'm not mistaken. And I wanted to know, personally wanted to know, what was the experience like being a student in India?
Well, I'm one of the lucky ones that didn't actually face all that harsh racism and everything. Of course, racism is there, but it gets worse when it's really bad and you can see it and it's harsh. So, yeah, and Africans are really struggling there. We've struggled a lot. The police.
When you say we struggled a lot, how did you struggle? Was it living in public or getting access to certain rights? Or?
Yes, getting access to certain rights and having to go somewhere and you look like a complete, I don't know, alien, if I can put it that way. So, and having trust in the police and reporting cases and everything, and the police really wouldn't care, but instead they will ask for money. Of which in retaliation they won't do anything again. So we saw that a lot where there were fights would break between the Africans and the Indians, but nothing could be done, and they would result into deaths. So these are things that were not catered for. I think it's high time people stood up and understood this issue because India is hosting very many Africans because of the education.
But we're also hosting very many Indians.
Exactly. So imagine what would happen if Africans stand against Indians. Like,
we don't want to see something back in the 1970s like India.
It's strange how different people, especially many Indians are in Uganda and countries like Kenya, especially for
because
business.
of history also.
And for history especially also. So if Africans or if Ugandans or Kenyans did that, then we would kind of see how it is different. So maybe my advice is, well, it's kind of, you need me, I need you.
I think it's high time they took action.
Well, again, like I said, racism should be, of course, out of bounds, and we hope something could be done by the Indian government. Now, moving on to our third story back in the region now, it's Kampala, Uganda. Now, 5 people convicted of terrorism over the 2010 bomb attacks in Uganda's capital, Kampala, which killed 74 people, have been given life sentences. Among them was Issa Ahmad Luyima, the mastermind of the attacks claimed by militant Islamist group Al-Shabaab. 2 others also found guilty of terrorism were given 50 years in jail. Justice served, would we say that?
Yes.
Stephen?
Well, 79 people died. So some were given 50 years and others given life sentences. Nothing can equal to the lives that were lost. But it's a good step that, after 5 years of the case dragging, it's now it's been signed and these people can start to serve their sentences.
Does this clink anything, especially in terms of how justice was done, the process and everything? Do you think Uganda handled this case with a lot of punctuality, because sometimes justice delayed is justice denied?
Well, there are many incidences that came through that made this case drag. But these cases normally,
and some of the prosecutors had to die in the process,
It has happened before cases dragging like this, but justice has been served, and it will serve as a deterrent for other people who want to do these attacks.
Absolutely. There you had it, of course. Now, sitting next to me is Peace, and of course, as always, she always has the hot topics. Peace, what do you have for us?
Exciting stuff.
All right.
Okay, so after years of speculation, Clement Ishimwe finally got down on one knee. The Kina music production boss revealed that he popped, of course, the question, the magical question, the one that many girls usually wait for. At Jeanne d'Arc Mutera, also known as Knowless, while they were watching a movie, so romantic. They were watching a movie called The Notebook. All of us have seen this. It puts us down to tears. But for a guy, especially Stephen, what would this be? Is this like the ideal proposal? What would you?
It's a good proposal. It's ideal.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine Knowless must have been over the moon. And following this story, lots of people have been eyeing Knowless. I mean, when you see Safi, when you see even some more is maybe Dream Boys. The stories have been coming out. Everybody has been interested in
No, it's
in
Knowledge
knowledge.
at
So
some point.
I mean, congs to Clema, he finally gets the
He
girl.
wins
and-
the girl. Ivan?
Well, for now, I think Knowles is singing I'm Already Taken. One thing I have to say about this is because I think the reason why this was a very big story was because of the stories. First of all, these two were not agreeing to their affair. They have
Yeah.
been so good at hiding, and of which I like. I mean, they have been so good, and people should not make it big deal. People have been saying, why did you have to hide this? Yes, they need to also have a private life
Yeah, a
sometimes.
private life is
And they've been
really
able to pull it off, and finally the lady says yes. I mean, even in such a good way. I think for some men who had the idea of using the cinema, the idea is already gone. Knowles and Clemmer had to use it, and I think it was a good idea, and congratulations to the two, of course, big superstars in this country.
Let me hear from the lady herself.
Yeah.
What comes to your head when you hear how this proposal happened, or what? Especially for Clement and, of course, Knowles.
I think this is the first of its kind in Rwanda.
Yes.
I've never had or seen any other proposal like this one. And it was planned, watching the notebook, then proposing. That is something that really took some time, some good time for planning. And I can only imagine what Knowles felt when he just saw the ring. She just saw the ring. So
And of
But
course,
that movie, The Notebook,
it's quite a movie. I think,
That's
you
a
know,
bad
many
ending,
people...
no?
Though, yeah.
yeah, thanks to them. It's
But
good.
they grow all together. And
Okay.
that's like the best part about it.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
of course,
Sure.
congratulations to Knowles and Clement. We wish you all the best. And may you give birth to plenty of kids, and may you become great
Well, we first have to wait for the wedding.
well,
so
they'll get
pretty
married,
much.
of course.
Yeah.
But of course,
Yeah.
may of course God bless you in everything that you do. And moving on to the second hot topic, a Chinese firm has apologized over an advert for detergent, which has provoked a storm of allegations of racism. The manufacturer of Koi Bee said that it strongly opposed and condemned as racial discrimination, and was a sorry advert that caused controversy in especially a black man who was, you know, stuffed headfirst into a washing machine before emerging as a light-skinned Asian.
Can you imagine?
Ivan,
Well-
let's start it off.
Well, before we go any further, I think I think the director could be able to give you a hint of what we're actually talking about in this short video of what the commercial was about.
改变只需一颗俏比洗衣溶珠，俏比全国招商热线400-800-5086。
Ridiculously saying, I should say, this commercial. Myself, when I saw this, I was very, very angry at it. He's actually portraying something. He's a black man being stuffed into a washing machine. He comes out a very handsome,
Asian.
good-looking Asian. What does that mean? Black is dirty? Something else. Honestly think, though the Chinese company was saying, well, it's a lot of sensitive people around, the media is being so sensitive about it. But what kind of message are you trying to portray? I don't understand if there was...
They
I think
actually
need to
copied an
revise-
advert, another advert, and even the soundtrack is the same, but they didn't
Really?
copy the message.
Yeah.
You understand?
Okay.
So this whole thing of black turning into white
A
and
black man.
and being used on people
Yeah.
portrayed something to
I've
do with racism.
actually had some, well, I'm not going to say white, but well, they call us black once in every other once in a while. But a white person told the kid. The kid asked the dad, why are people black people like that? And then the dad was like, it's because they don't shower. So if you don't take your shower,
Oh,
you will turn out like them. And I'm like, when I see this, like, I feel like that's kind of, you know, these things happen, and these are the things that some people teach their kids. You know, if an advert like this can come out about us black people, then I really honestly feel,
And I
you know,
think,
especially for an Asian, because they're not necessarily too light. They're kind of, you know, in the middle there. They're not necessarily like white. So it's, Stephen, conclude on this.
Well, I would like to maybe face this actor, the black actor, and ask him, why do you have to take part in, okay, I don't know the details, maybe he wants an acting career, but why would a black man take
Maybe he
part
did
in
it
such
for the
an
money.
For detergent,
Maybe
a
he did it
human
for the money.
being.
well, one thing I have to say, for me, I think an apology is not enough, especially looking at the kind of influence these kind of adverts do have on
Their
people.
cause, yes.
And I think one way or the other, there needs to be legal action taken, especially on the kiwabi, which is the detergent that people are trying to use. So I feel an apology is just way beyond. And for me, I think this was one of the most disgusting, I would say, commercials.
All right, there you had it, of course, with that sad hot topic, the last one, but that's all we had for you for Hot Topics. We'll be right back with the story of the day.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwandair and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Story of the Day. My name, of course, is, as always, Ivan Magwene. Now, the African Standby Force could become a reality this July. The United Nations expressed its happiness at the prospects after the UN peacekeeping chief told a Security Council meeting earlier this week that the African Standby Force is about to be declared operational at the AU summit in July, which is in Kigali, actually. One can understand the UN's hope. 9 of the United Nations' 16 peacekeeping missions are in Africa, 9 of them. But the hope lies in Africa's demonstrated. If winning peacekeeping capabilities with the number of troops contributions around the world, almost 50% of the 105,000 UN peacekeepers worldwide come from the African Union member states. So what does an African standby force mean for Africa? Now, of course, helping me shine more light on this topic are my colleagues. And guys, the EU summit is in Kigali, number 1. That's, of course, people should also get to know that. And of course, such kind of a resolution to be passed on Kigali will be a historical decision to be passed on the soil of Rwanda.
Kigali,
But African standby forces, Stephen, what does that mean for Africa? Looking at all the details from the economic perspective, from the intervention in terms of crisis, from even how the organization of this African standby force should be. Your take.
Well, this was an idea brought up from way back 1963 by Kwame Nkrumah. So it's been all observers have been waiting to see when it finally takes off. But as for what it means, well, it means that there's been this shift to stop our over dependence on the aid to develop our own problems, and well, many leaders will tell you Africa can handle its own problem. But this brings a challenge, not a challenge, but a task. I mean, is Africa able up to the job of seeing that it can maintain a force that will be able to handle those conflicts that come up? I mean, there are issues of finances, planning, and then those inside factors that slow down coordination between African countries. We have to handle that. Then we also have big countries like Egypt and South Africa that have economic might and military might, but they don't really participate a lot in peacekeeping missions on the country. So it remains to see whether Africa can come together and,
Yes.
make this happen.
Now, Chantal, looking at this, I would love to look at it from both the organizational view and the economic view. Would you say actually that this is one of the other plans that the African Union gets to have a good idea, but at the end of the day, it just becomes a dream, building castles? Because it takes a lot, organization, the economic part of it. The whole idea behind the African Standby Force is for Africa to look for solutions for the African problems. But no matter what happens, sometimes there's always that external funding. And when it does not come on time, the mission fails. So, is the mission already failing in the
No.
birthplace of the idea? Your take?
I don't think it's failing because this is something that is going to take some time to do the planning, the organization and everything. So Africans coming together and planning this is actually reducing the powers on the Western powers, the aid, because this means...
What do you base your argument on? Because
this means that
sometimes-
if Africans can get together like that, they can be able to transfer aid. An African country can transfer aid to another African country, not waiting for the European countries. So the question is, are we ready to use this aid as it's supposed to be used? Are we ready to come together and form that one coalition that the Africans need themselves?
No, I see you burning up with a point there.
It's like I just want to take it back to the kingship days
Yeah.
where it was just kings and kingdoms and just stuff like that in Africa before we were all divided into different certain countries before the scramble and partition in Africa. Before all that, before the missionaries came in, before there was anything,
Yes.
kings used to solve problems. Kings used to take care of their own people. Not even just the kings, but people were taking care of themselves at the time.
But Peace, this is
Now,
the 21st century.
I know this is the 21st
Everyone-
century.
yeah.
That's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying, times have passed, and at that time, Africa was taking care of itself. And
Yes.
it's high time that they use that same hard work that they were using, or our ancestors were using, because it's practically the same blood.
How do you do that in a state where countries are looking at their personal benefit in terms of economics, in terms of even security, where we are living more in a very dangerous world where terrorism is a very big factor? How do you argue that same point?
The same way they lived then. There was, of course, security then. There was, of course, feeding. People who are responsible for agriculture and growing things were responsible for that. People, the warriors who are responsible for keeping the countries or the kingdom safe were responsible. It's high time that certain people will take their different areas very seriously.
All
and
right,
maybe
now,
that's what I have.
there you had the argument from Peace. Do you agree with her? Of course, log on to our Twitter hand and let us know what you think about the debate. You've been watching Rise and Shine, Rwanda's story of the day. Chantal Uwera is up next with business.
Welcome back. It's time for your business stories with me, Chantal Uwera. Board's economic reforms have led to a revolution in the Rwanda business environment. The latest business reforms under the stewardship of RDB are a landmark in improving investment and the country's competitiveness and positioning. This comes after Rwanda ranked the second in Africa in World Bank Doing Business Index 2016. Arthur Zhang from Cameroon won this year's Africa Prize of Engineering Innovation for his heart monitoring device. The Cardiopad, which is said to change the way Africans get treatment for heart diseases, and the young Cameroonian a cash prize of $37,000, which is given out annually by the Royal Academy of Engineering in the UK. Mr. Zhang beat his colleagues from Uganda, Kenya and South Africa. The Tanzanian government has rejected a proposal for a public-private partnership to rescue Air Tanzania Company Limited. Adolphe Mukenda, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, said, and I quote, "There may be an urge to place Tanzania's state-owned airline in the partnership with private sector players because that is the trend for airlines in East Africa. But this is not workable for Air Tanzania Corporation because the airline is in bad shape." And that's all we had for you in business today. Kalimba Stephen is up next with sports.
Welcome back. It's now time for your sports news with me, Stephen Kalimba. In local soccer, Amavubi lose friendly against Senegal. The national outfit Amavubi suffered a setback in their preparation for the 2017 African Nations Cup qualifiers in a 2-0 loss to the Lions of Teranga. The Amavubi struggled against the West Africans who had Diouf Mame Biram and Sankare Yunus grab a goal each for the visitors. The Amavubi are bracing to host Mozambique on June 4th in their Group H, which is headed by Ghana's Black Stars. They have to be the best runners-up overall to proceed to the AFCON. In cycling, 5 Team Rwanda cyclists headed to the Tour du Colombia. The national team riders who include Jean Bosco Nsengimana, Joseph Areruya, Jean-Claude Uwizeye, Kamera Kuzimana, Patrick Bikusenge, and Samuel Mugisha will represent Rwanda in its first ever showing at the race, which is regarded as one of the toughest in the world. The peloton, however, will miss some circuits in the upcoming national championship race this month. And in the UEFA Champions League, Real Madrid take the League Cup after a shootout with Atletico Madrid. Cristiano Ronaldo fired the Galacticos to their 11th Champions title after converting his penalty kick. This was after a goalless extra time. It came after Atletico's fullback Juan Fran missed his spot kick. Cristiano said Real Madrid deserved to win because they had more experience and had scored all their penalties. The game went into extra time after Yannick Carrasco cancelled out Sergio Ramos' first half goal. Atletico coach Diego Simeone, however, said he would be rethinking his future at the club, having lost 2 finals. Well, congratulations to the Real Madrid fans. In our future today, it is going to be chess, the chess Olympiad, which will take place in Azerbaijan. Take a look. We are here at Classic Hotel in Sonatib, Chichuchiro, where 10 players are competing to qualify for the top 5 spots to go represent the country at the Chess Olympiad in Baku. The Chess Olympiad is slated for 1st to 14th September and gives Rwandan players a chance to rub shoulders with players from 170 countries across the world. The qualifiers for this year's edition, which takes place in Azerbaijan, kicked off on May 20th. And the players had to play 9 rounds, which is 9 games per player to qualify. Kevin Ganza, the chairman of the Rwanda Chess Federation, told us about this year's qualifiers.
Yeah, the competition is tough, and it is up to our expectations. We've been expecting a competition of this level, and all the players that have passed the pre-qualifiers are the players that are able to represent our country.
Better showing this year's edition.
We haven't been performing well, yeah, but we hope we have a hope that this time it is going to change, because even the qualifiers alone have been prepared in a way that which is different from the past. Well, it is always a good opportunity for us to participate, because it increases our players' performance and the experience.
Candidate Master Alexis Ruzigura has represented the country once at the Olympiad, and he will be an asset for Team Rwanda since he qualified with 2 games to spare.
It's a privilege to represent the country, and would I say having qualified with 2 games to spare is always nice. Our objective as a team is at least to be well, second in the region. At least we know the Ugandan teams are way stronger, but we should come ahead of Tanzania, Congo, Burundi, and Kenya. We have the ability to do this, and I believe we shall succeed.
The ladies also kicked off their qualifiers on Sunday for 5 other spots in the ladies team. This will be their second year having the bid in 2014 Tromsø, Norway.
Well, I think the ladies game has improved tremendously, although the numbers are not that many, but it's very useful, and we expect to take a better team. And exposure is nice because when you go out there and play, you get the experience. And with many of them, we have a couple of young girls who are 14 and 13. I see these becoming the next bright stars of tomorrow. Chess is about patience.
Ruzigura has managed to qualify with candidate master Godfrey Carrera. Others expected to fill the other 3 spots include Eugene Mugema Kagabo, Fidel Mutabazi, Maxence Murala, and Alan Patience Niyibizi from the Toto 10. Well, that's it we had for today. You've seen how the stakes are high and the race is stiff for the last 5 slots. Rise and Shine will keep you posted. Stephen Kalimba, Rise and Shine Rwanda. There you had a short video of what is going on at Classic Hotel. I mean, it is the qualifiers for the Chess Olympiad. Well, in studio today, we have Kevin Ganza, the chairman of Ferrade, the Chess Federation, to tell us more about the qualifiers. Welcome to studio, Mr. Ganza.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here at Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the gentlemen finished their rounds, and now it's the ladies who have kicked off their round of qualifiers. So tell us, how is it going? How did the men's qualifiers end, and how is the ladies?
Yeah, thank you. The main qualifiers, we call it open, because anyone can join, even ladies can join them. So we had the 2 sections, the open section and the ladies. So the open section has just concluded. It was a very tough competition with 10 players. 5 of them have had finished their pre-qualifiers, and they joined other 5 who had already qualified, basing on their titles and.
Well, we have the ladies qualifiers continuing next month.
Yeah.
And what do you expect the competition to be like, and the level of the game?
Yeah, for the ladies category, we have 7 players playing. Well, I may start by saying that they are the previous qualifiers for the ladies. It was not that tough because they were new at the game.
Okay.
But now they have started.
Maybe tell us, how did they perform in Tromsø, Norway? Were there what good news was there? Can remind our viewers.
Yeah, for the ladies, I can say they did well. Because they were new at chess. Some of them had 7 or 6 month experience playing, so they did good. Some of them managed to get win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now we'll have 5 ladies and 5 gentlemen going to Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
So for this year, what is the target? What are the objectives going into this tournament in September? Yeah,
the target is always to improve on our ranking, but also the exposure of our players, because when they are in the Olympiad, they get that experience. They meet some tough players, which really help them to improve on their game.
Okay.
So we expect that our team, be it for open category or ladies, we shall be having a good team that will make us proud.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Wow. Okay, on a lighter note, since we're not all chess professionals, I'm going to ask Ganza to tell me, we have a board here, as an amateur, which is the best way to start a game?
Well, there is a variety of openings, yeah, but for me, I may choose to open with a E5.
E5.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you want to learn more what goes on beyond that, you'll have to find Ganza at...
Yeah, at Classic Hotel or at Hilltop Hotel. Yeah, there are chess club up there, and we do practice a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you had it. Peace Cruzeira is up next with Lifestyle.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwandair and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine. It's time for Lifestyle with me, Peace Cruzeira. Now, it has become a monthly catch for Kigalians from the huge numbers of people that attended Spoken Word this month. You should see why indeed this was the place to be. I was there myself to gather the latest pieces from the artists. Check it out.
Street palm trees. Very natural. She's no Kim Kardashian one. She's well outspoken and free like the car-free zone. But sadly, I am trying to escape her friend zone. Nonetheless, she's beautiful like a girl. She stands out beautifully like the horizons of Gachuriro. Her voice is sweet and speaks fast. You can call her 3.7 G or 4G. Candidate Jango Ngite Jombi. She's loved and admired like the new Kigali Snapchat geofilter. She's not Miss Rwanda Ari Ngite Nyaminga. She's no movie, but I could watch her like a 3D movie in Century Cinema. No prima ni ralema nanje nararo jendo wichiga.
Glued to poetry, I'm unorthodox, I get high on my own truth. And we're being a paradox, I get lots of nothing to prove. These poetry is the infusion that make life still swallow. It's my redemption in this world full of lunatic slaves who follow the wind chasing dreams made in the West. I'm no exception, I'm just special.
And we rise, and we rise, and we rise, we dance free. You are a beautiful continent, woman after my own heart. You are child of my youth, thoughts of my truth. Barricaded in the earth, I have planted seeds for you till they sprout into a celebration of life, and our children can nurture this. And our children can nurture this. And our children can nurture this. A mile in your shoes leads into a generation of strength for us. Your success is our triumph. And so let us hold hands and create a tightrope interwoven into a braid of ambition, channeling focus. A sense of time teases my hands as I work swiftly. I can hear the wind whisper. It is saying, come, come, run with me. Come run with me. We are shaping our own future and it will refine us. No, that will define us.
All right. Now, Ivan, Chantel, you guys were all there. At least with me, it has become our monthly thing to go for. And this is why we think all of you should at least start attending. The theme was I Am Kigali, and it's actually a campaign that is starting. But first, enlighten us a little bit about the campaign, I think.
So, of course, as you've heard, I Am Kigali is going to be like a global, I think, a global brand for especially promoting Kigali's culture, diversification, and innovation, as now Kigali goes into implying the smart cities and trying to make awareness of what is going on through Kigali. And that is in association with the Impact Hub, where actually the spoken word took place from. So I think this is a great initiative, of course. A lot has been done to brand Kigali, and I think this is going to be a successful campaign. Even with platforms like the spoken word, you saw that I think was the biggest number of people coming up for spoken word that I've ever seen, and I think the experience that was very tremendous, I would say.
Yeah. Chantel, you were there to at least give us a bit of your experience there.
Yeah, besides that, of course, the first thing is the theme and how people are actually working towards the Kigali initiative. And second to that is the networking. You meet people and very many different people. There are opportunities there, you never know. So I am actually encouraging people to go for spoken word. It's every Wednesday, the last Wednesday of the month. Yeah, it was marvelous. The experience was good. People actually have hidden talents. Some people we knew.
It was amazing. It was one of those things that I am glad to have attended. And I feel like, Rwanda has provided for us plot for at least every month. There is a Car-Free Day, there is the Muganda, now there is the I Am Kigali campaign that is going on.
There's always something interesting.
There's always something interesting going on. But of course, lastly, wrap this up, Stephen. What would you advise our viewers, especially, or like what was your experience there? Make them go for it, because I feel like I'm not convincing enough.
Well, when somebody steps on stage, I mean, even if you've just gone to watch, there's something that tells me, I should also go there too. It's been amazing when Diana introduces some people and said this person came, said they were tripping at first, but then they've improved, and they are now good. And I also like the way the spoken word, they bring together they come with a lot of activities. I mean, if you see last time they were at the Innovation Village, and then at chapter 2, and now at the Impact Hub. So they are trying to bring those activities together and show that there is an interrelation. And, Rwandans expressing themselves, that's always a good thing.
Even people who live in Rwanda and are not necessarily Rwandans, Rwandan.
And there's diversity in the spoken word.
There's diversity, there is everything that you would want to see in a place, especially. It is fun, it is educative, and it is something that you definitely want to, take your friends and just hang out. We were there and we had a tremendous stroke, very exciting experience there. And we wish that you, of all people, and all the viewers at home, are also among, all of us to go and experience what we experienced. Well, that is all we had for you for Lifestyle today. We'll be right back. All right, there you had it for today's show. Of course, do not ever forget that we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW, like us on our Facebook page, and do send us your ideas for the program. Check out our Rise and Shine YouTube page, and please subscribe. That's where you can catch all the shows and the reposts that we do. do find us on Instagram, and remember, we love to see your pics and endeavor to share them, of course. And lastly, do not forget to check out our website, where you can catch every single thing that we do here in Rise and Shine, from backstage to on stage and to whatever we cover, especially in Rwanda. I am, of course, Peace Kwizera.
And of course, it's me, Ivan Magwenav. We'll be at same time, same place tomorrow, and I hope you guys had fun as well. Well, it's coming to the end of the month. I would ask you, what are some of the things that you planned at the beginning of the month that you have achieved, Stephen?
Well, you mean like new month resolutions?
Yes. Do you have any new month?
Well, I made a resolution to exercise out some more, and towards the end, I started to work out, do some physical workouts, and yeah, maybe.
You're good, Chantal. Sure. Any plan you had for that?
Yeah, definitely many.
Okay.
And 70% has been achieved. So I've been able to read at least 3 books in 1 month.
All right, there you had it. Now, of course, we hope that as the new month also comes in, new month, new resolutions. There you had it from all of us. We'll be at same time, same place tomorrow. Do join us then, but for now, it's goodbye.
Bye.